When he doesn't appear on camera for a day or 2 days or 3 days, everybody starts to freak out and wonder if he's died. He is doing much more than certainly Joe Biden did. He is out there in a way that past presidents haven't even been out there. He does give access. He's constantly on television. So, I mean, he might be slowing down for him and slowing down because he's getting up there in age, but he is still very much mobile.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Was that Katy Tur, one of the rising stars at MSNBC, or as they are forced to call themselves now because NBC wants absolutely nothing to do with this dump of a network, MSNBC is now being forced to call themselves MSNOW, which I believe stands for MS No One Is Watching. The new network slogan is new name, same garbage. Did I just see Katy Tur featured as a guest on a podcast hosted by the Daily Beast, which is another far-left media site whose company slogan is Orange Man Bad? Did I just see Katy Tur and the Daily Beast defending Don Trump? Did I just see them insinuate that Donnie T is doing more than our former fearless leader, Joey B? Not only did Katy Tur defend the Trumper, she also proceeded to humiliate John Biden. Of course, she didn't reveal information that normal people or anyone else with a working set of eyes didn't already know, but it was surprising to see someone from MSNOW speaking the truth about Joe Biden, even though it's 4 years too late. You know, Uncle KC isn't all that familiar with Katy Tur. The only Katys I am familiar with are Katie Clark, the Great White Hope in the WNBA dump, and of course, Katie Collins. Katie Roo! Katie Roo! I don't know much about Katy Tur, but what little I do know about her ain't exactly what I would call good. For starters, I question her judgment. From 2006 to 2009, Katy Tur was in a romantic relationship with Keith Olbermann. Katy Boo! In her defense, Katy Tur was in her mid-20s when she dated Pooh. She was beginning her career in the media while Pooh was beginning to lose his mind. I'm not a psychiatrist, but maybe Katy Tur was interested in Keithy as some kind of replacement father figure because she has had a contentious relationship with her biological father, Zoe Tur. KC, I've never met a dude named Zoe. Yeah. Me either. Zoe Tur's original name was Robert Tur, Bob Tur. That name was buried many years ago when Bob decided to transition to Zoe. Now, me personally, I think Barbara would have been a smoother transition, but to each his own, or her own. All kidding aside, I'm sure this had to be a traumatic experience for Katy Tur, even as an adult. I could not imagine waking up this morning after having a great Thanksgiving yesterday with my family. I could not imagine my dad calling me this morning and telling me that he was now my mother. Over the last 10 or so years, Katy Tur has been working at MSNBC, a network that requires its woke welfare collectors to constantly demonize the Trumper. But going into Thanksgiving, not only was Katy Tur defending Don Trump against another hit piece from the New York Times, she also made sure to highlight Don Trump's incredible work ethic by reminding us of the incompetence of Johnny B. Biden. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. My uncle called me a couple of weeks ago. Now, he's a military veteran, served in the Gulf War in the early 90s. As he has gotten older, he's been dealing with various health-related issues. Doctors had him on pain management. They had him taking all this medicine just so he could sleep at night, most of which wasn't working. Once the meds wore off, he was tossing and turning all night. Plus, he was building up a tolerance. Last month, my aunt bought him some CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading. Wanted him to try it out just to see if it worked. He applies the CBD lotion every night before bed. My uncle is getting the best sleep that he's gotten in years. He doesn't even take the pain medication anymore because he doesn't need it. Recently, I gave some of the CBD lotion to my dad. He has been installing and repairing sprinkler systems my entire life, so he's developed pain in his knees. Hates taking pills, so I gave him some of the CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading to try. His knees are pain-free even at 74 years old. He was talking to me about it yesterday at Thanksgiving. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. Today's Black Friday. They have increased their discount code for the holidays. So click the link in the description below. Use the new discount code BTL35. Get 35% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Headline at the New York Times: shorter days, signs of fatigue, Trump faces realities of aging in office. Where was this same energy last year? Where was this narrative the last 4 years when we watched John Biden literally age into a fossil? For the better part of 4 years, normal people were calling out the incompetence of John Biden. Meanwhile, mainstream media was lying to us. Our fearless leader didn't fall down the stairs. He was simply bending over to pick up a buffalo nickel. We would go days, sometimes weeks, without seeing Joe Biden. Vlad Putin's over in Europe dropping bombs on Ukraine. Where is John Biden? He's in his Delaware dungeon combating fire-breathing dragons with his powerful boodle breeze. He's using his personal wind to blow the fire back in the dragon's face. For the better part of 4 years, the mainstream media was silent. They were complicit. They were lying to us about the mental acuity of John Biden. But over the last 11 months, the media has a sudden renewed interest in the health of the president. I wonder why. Every time Don Trump takes a day off, the woke media claims he is fatigued, he's aging. God forbid Don plays 18 holes of golf. All of a sudden, he's no longer fatigued. Now he's lazy. He's not working. He's using taxpayer dollars to outdrive Happy Gilmore. Basically, the New York Times is taking the truth about John Biden and turning it into lies about the Trumper. To her credit, Katy Tur from MSNOW defended Donald Trump, but she also shared an interesting story about our former fearless leader. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the audio, so I'll read you the transcript. During the Biden administration, Katy Tur was invited to a Christmas party at the White House. Now, she didn't specify whether the party was in June, which is the official month of woke Christmas, or December, which is when normal people celebrate Christmas. Either way, Katy Tur attended a Christmas party hosted by John Biden and pretend Dr. Jill Biden. During the party, Johnny B decided to get on stage and say a few words. This wasn't some scripted speech. It wasn't a high-pressure situation. All Johnny B had to do was thank people for coming, inform the guests that they ran out of grilled wiener, but there were plenty of supersized cucumbers still available. That was it. According to Katy Tur, John Biden got on stage around 8 o'clock that night, and the entire audience was bamboozled. Wowzer! I didn't know our fearless leader was fluent in foreign languages. What language was that? I couldn't understand a damn word he said. If this had been reported at the time, I'm sure the media would have come up with plenty of excuses. They would have claimed that Johnny B had too much to drink, but my inside sources, they told me that the only thing John Biden was drinking that night was Metamucil. This is the second time this week that someone from MSNOW has been critical of the doofus Democrats. Last weekend, one of the weekend hosts at MSNOW pressed Afton Ben, the lovely blonde who is running for Congress in Tennessee. One of the weekend hosts at MSNBC, they pressed her on her utopian dream of defunding the police. She was pressing Afton so hard, you could hear her broom cranking in the background as Afton Ben prepared to fly away from this precarious situation. Watch it for yourself.
You said the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department should be dissolved. Another cheered on a teachers union saying that defund the police should be a requirement for schools reopening. And another saying good morning, especially to the 54% of Americans that believe burning down a police station is justified. Do you still stand by those comments?
Yeah, I'm not going to engage in cable news talking points, but what I will say is that our communities need solutions. We need local people deciding, solving local problems with local solutions.
You don't want to clarify whether you still believe that the police should be defunded?
I don't remember these tweets, but what I'm saying is that...
I'm not asking you if you remember. What is your position today? How's that?
I'm here to talk about my race.
If you're at all familiar with MSNBC, you know this is rare. This network doesn't criticize Democrats. This network damn sure doesn't press them for answers. For years, MSNBC has been one of the best in the business at polishing the turd. We have seen the same at CNN, where they're no longer polishing the turd. All of a sudden, CNN is highlighting the stench. Why? Why are both of these networks suddenly questioning Democrats? Why is a rising star at MSNOW defending Don Trump? The only reason I can think of, they are tired of riding the Bruce caboose. Both CNN and MSNOW are tired of getting their ass kicked in the ratings. For years, both networks have been splitting the woke audience, but now, woke is dead. If you don't believe me, ask Piers Morgan. He detailed the death of the woke movement in a book titled Woke is Dead. The woke cemetery has been filled to capacity. There is no longer a woke audience to appeal to. So maybe, just maybe, MSNOW is subtly trying to appeal to normal people to save this dump of a network. That is the only reason I can think of. If you have a better reason, you tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.